1993, the year of bad news. For this year's Republic Day, my mother decided that our preschool children shouldn't sleep in late. She called them to school to celebrate the national holiday. Our kindergartners broomed the play area, drew a national flag-inspired rangoli, and recited essays on great leaders, which they had been practicing since Christmas. As my mother and I were watching those tiny hands-filled tricolor rangolis, I got transported back to 26 January 2001 when I was watching my mum draw a Republic rangoli. "Do you remember that Republic Day at our old house?" I asked Mum. Of course I remember. She knew what I was talking about. I remember it too clearly. I was 7 years old, at home with Mum on the National Day. I was sitting in Malasana position in our gallery, bouncing on my toes, watching Mum fill the tricolors in her rangoli. Suddenly, I banged my head on the rough wall in front of me. "How can you fall while sitting down?" my mom had wondered at the time. A few hours later that afternoon, we found out how. There was a massive earthquake in Bhuj in the Gujarat state, and the accident-prone little me had felt the tremors in Pune. And when you were just 7 months old in 1993, there was an even bigger earthquake. Mom continued. It was just after Ganpati Visarjan in September. Everyone was back from the processions. One moment people were sleeping, and the next they were buried alive in the middle of the night. It was the biggest earthquake we ever felt. You, your dad, and I were sleeping when everything started shaking. In the commotion and panic, your father and I ran out of the house and realized we left you sleeping inside. The next day's newspaper told us about the earthquake. But Killari is in Latur district. Why would our house in Pune shake? For a 30-year-old, that's a stupid question. Bhuj is in Gujarat. Why did you bang your head in Pune? Right, stupid question. That year was horrible for Maharashtra. When you were just 10 days old, there were 12 terrorist bombings one after the other in Mumbai. One of the most inhuman attacks ever. I was at my parents' house then. I didn't know about it for the next 4 months. Apparently, a new mother is not supposed to watch or hear news, talk too much, or laugh. "You can't laugh even when the baby is out?" I asked. "Yes, it creates an imbalance in the mother's body," my grandma used to say. Did anything good happen the year I was born? A repeat telecast of all the disasters made me wonder if my birth induced an ill fate on my birth state. Not that I remember. There were only firings and blasts and death that year. One of my favorite new actresses at the time died within just a month after your birth. Who? I asked, even though I knew who she was talking about. Divya Bharti, Shah Rukh Khan's first ever film actress. You used to dance to that one song of hers from Divana until you learnt all Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge songs. By now, children had finished their Republic Day special rangoli. Their tricolor rangoli looked as though Little Miss Muffet had dropped a basket full of oranges on a sugarcane farm. "But isn't it enough that you were born that year?" Mum said in a heavy tone that is usually a preamble to my history of defiance. That was my clue to stop. That's how the year I was born was. That's 1993 as told by my mother dear. Hi, my name is Praajakta, and if you've liked this week's episode, don't forget to tell me in the comments. Also, since nostalgia and fiascos are fun when shared, do subscribe and share this episode with your loved ones. Everything you need to know is in the description box below. See you next week. Rangoli and recited essays on great leaders, which they